Well, if you are a sports fan, a history fan, a culture fan, there are few times better than the moment we find ourselves in right now. The Winter Olympics well underway in Italy, of course, being brought to you right here on NBC and 11 Alive. And look, there's a lot of science that goes into the performances of the athletes you see every day over in Italy. We are joined right now by somebody who knows all about that science. This is Professor Jud Ready from Georgia Tech. Professor, you study this, you work on this. How big of an impact behind the scenes is the science and research having on the performance of these athletes?
Thanks for having me on, Zach. Yeah, Olympics and sports in general has really adopted the fact that science can improve your performance when you're at these elite levels, and fractions of an inch or fractions of a second really matter. Science can deliver those fractions.
And it really is, particularly at that level, a game, a competition of, sometimes not even seconds, but milliseconds, as you point out, particularly in high speed sports, which feels like just about every sport we see at the Olympics right now. But what kinds of developments are you following on the scientific front that are aiding these athletes?
Yeah, it's all about sliding down various different frozen surfaces and living to tell about it as fast as possible. So the helmets are becoming aerodynamic, the suits are more aerodynamic, the, the friction between the blades of the skis or your skates with the ice, just reducing that to minimize the resistance from either the wind or the ice. Just adds up when it's a hundredth of a second. It matters.
It sure does. And Professor, I would talk about, if you're a fan of sports or if you're a fan of history or culture, this is a great moment. I sometimes like to go back and watch old footage from decades ago or even just a handful of years ago at the Olympics. The gear the athletes were sporting looked very different in the past. How have things developed over the years to try to give these athletes as much of an edge as possible?
Yeah, well, all sports follow the same trajectory in materials evolution. They start with natural materials that are readily at hand. For instance, the Olympics long ago had wool, even wool swimsuits, but certainly wool for the Winter Olympics as well. And then they moved into some engineered polymers such as nylon or using steels. And then they got fancier polymers like carbon fiber and aramid fibers like Kevlar, for instance, as well as what we call light metals. Those are titanium, aluminum, and magnesium. Now we're getting composite materials that incorporate those things, and multifunctional materials. So there's, in addition to the strength aspects, you perhaps have some sort of thermal aspect or aerodynamic aspects, as we were talking earlier.
And Professor, I suspect there is a bit of an arms race type of situation playing out between all the different nations who, of course, want to give their athletes the biggest edge when they step out on the global stage. Is it a situation where, when, for instance, we're talking about the U.S. Olympic team, are there scientists who work in the material science space like you do, who are specifically crafting gear for our Olympians?
Oh, most assuredly so. Olympians and everyday you and me, we can go down to the sporting goods store, and those materials that are developed for Olympians eventually trickle down to us, whether it's swimsuits, whether it's nice golf clubs, kayaks you can buy. All of these technological developments start in the high performance world, like the Olympics or, say, the defense industries. But as they get more widely adopted, the prices come down where everyday Joes and Janes on the street can utilize it ourselves.
You bring up a good point. I think about, it's often said the NASA missions and the space missions back in the day developed so many technologies, I don't want to say by accident, but things that were not initially considered consumer goods that now we take for granted in our consumer lives. And it sounds like that same dynamic is playing out when we're talking about Olympic sports and athletes and the things we eventually see when we go, us ham and eggers, to get the gear we need to, if you're like me, jog very slowly, but still go out and jog. So there's a little bit of a cyclical effect going on, Professor.
Most assuredly, the market will drive that. Everybody thinks titanium makes everything better, so you see titanium golf clubs, titanium, uh, various different racket and helmet sports. So The benefits, they do come down to us. The aerodynamic helmets on a bicycle, they do make a difference, for instance. Not many people here in Atlanta are luging or bobsledding, but those are important technologies that transition, particularly the bobsled and motorcycle helmets carry a lot of similarities.
And Professor, we have time for just one more question here because I could go on and on about the Olympics and the tech behind it. I love this season of the year. I want to ask you this question to end here. We've been talking about a lot of different sports, a lot of different technological innovations that go into it. Are there any specific sports, any specific competitions at the Olympics underway right now that you think most benefit from these technological advances?
Well, Great Britain unfortunately just lost a appeal regarding one of their helmets. They had adjusted the skeleton helmet, which is face first, sledding down the track, to be more aerodynamic, much like the bicycle helmets you see in the Tour de France that are more teardrop shaped. They ultimately were not allowed to use that. They used it in practice, but won't be able to use it in competition. So it's disappointing that technology is prevented from going ahead in certain areas. A lot of times they talk about protecting the sanctity of the sport. So, well, if that's the case, let's go back to skiing on wooden skis then.
You know, I'm reminded of, I think back to the Beijing Summer Olympics, and that year all the swimmers were wearing sort of the full body swimsuits. And if I am correct, there were a lot of records broken that year. And then in subsequent international competitions, those full body suits ended up being banned, I believe. But it's just an example of the impact that technology and the innovation can have. Georgia Tech professor Jud Ready, we appreciate your insight and appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, Zach. Happy to come back anytime, talk about sports. It's
We will
always fun.
certainly have you back. We'll see you soon.